Narito na ako, Noli Eala, kilalanin ang mga nasa likod ng bawat laro. Sa buhay man o sa playing court, game na tayo! Power and Play sa Radyo 5, 92.3 News FM.
Sa kapwa ko Pilipino, ipagmalaki ang galing na meron tayo. Ilantad ang likas nating talento at magdala ng saya sa mundo. Sa harap ng pagsubok ay di susuko, para sa pangarap tayo'y porsigido. Magpakitang gilas na at huwag magpatalo, ipagdiwang natin ang Pilipino. Yan ang Pinoy. Mula noon at hanggang ngayon, talento natin ang bida. Mula sa simpleng bakuran hanggang entablado natin ipakita. May pagsubok man ng Pinoy, pinalalakas ng saya. San man tayo sa pulo, Chumbe, Sibay, Lakay, Maniga. Sama-samang pakita ang galing nating katropa. Sa kapwa ko Pilipino, Pilipino, yan ang Pinoy.
Ang dami pong pumuputok na mga balita sa inyong paboritong sport. Kaya basketball all the way tayo sa inyong paboritong kasama sa almusal tuwing Sabado ng umaga. E di paano? Bango na! Power and Play na! Power and Play with Kom Noli Eala. Magandang umaga po sa inyo lahat mga kapatid. Ito po ang Power and Play. Ang hatid po sa inyo ng Cherry Loom, ang yerong may aluminum. Cherry Tigo, it's fun to drive. Chooks to go, nag-iisang manok ng bayan. At True Religion, where passion meets power. Binabati po natin lahat ng ating mga suki sa Radyo 5, 92.3 News FM, on 1PH sa Signal TV, and of course, sa mga nanonood po sa atin all over the world sa Facebook Live ng Radyo 5, ng Power and Play of course, at ng 1PH. Ako po si Noli Eala at espesyal po to sa akin dahil naku, chairman na pala ako ng Philippine Sports Commission. Alam mo, marami po nagtatanong sa akin kung itutuloy po natin po ang Power and Play. Unang-una po, gusto ko pong magpasalamat sa lahat po ng mga nagbigay sa akin ng karangalang ito. Unang-una po ang ating Pangulo, ang ating pong mahal na Pangulo, si President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. Marami pong salamat, Ginoong Pangulo, sa karangalan pong ibinigay niyo sa akin na pamunuan ang Philippine Sports Commission. Ako po ay talagang humbled by this honor at gusto ko po magpasalamat sa lahat po ng nagpadala ng kanilang pagbati, sa lahat po ng aking kasamahan sa PSC, lahat po ng mga stakeholders po ng sports, lalong-lalo na ang POC President na si Mayor Abraham Bambol Tolentino. Of course, lahat po ng mga nagpadala ng kanilang pagbati sa mga NSA officials, sports leaders all over the country, at ang lalong-lalo na po ang mga netizens, ang mga ordinaryong tao na nagpahatid po ng kanilang suporta at kasiyahan. Galak na galak po talaga tayo. Lubos po tayong nabigyan ng karangalang ito, at aking puso talagang gagawin ang lahat para po mabigyan natin ng lalo pang sigla, bagong enerhiya, at of course pagkalinga sa ating mga atleta at sa lahat po ng ating mga kabataang mahilig sa sports. At yan po ang hamon, at kaya naman po, tuloy-tuloy lang po natin gagawin ang Power and Play. Sapagkat ang Power and Play po ay aming itinayo bilang isang advokasya. Ito po ay para ilabas ang mga kwento, ang mga storya sa likod po ng mga headlines, at mapag-usapan ng mga bayani ng palakasan. At dahil po dyan, lalo pa nating palalakasin dahil ngayon po ay ating itatampok na ang mga sports na hindi masyadong popular, pero ating pong bibigyan ng pansin dito po sa Power and Play sa pamamagitan ng ating mga National Sports Association. So yan po ang ating pangako, ang ating pong advocacy sa Power and Play ay magpapatuloy. At pinag-uusapan po natin ang mga storya at kwento. Mamaya po makakausap natin ang mga napaka-kontrobersyal na mga issues tungkol po sa inyong paboritong sport na basketball. Mamaya po makakausap natin ang nagbitiw o hindi na rin po sumama na dating consultant ng Gilas Pilpinas, si Coach Nenad Vucinic. Galing po sa Serbia, nakausap po natin si Coach Vucinic. Ano ba talaga ang kwento kung bakit siya ay umalis ng Pilipinas? Mamaya din po makakasama natin si Coach Tim Cone, ang head coach ng Barangay Ginebra Kings, and of course, naging assistant coach ng Gilas Pilpinas. Mamaya po pag-usapan natin yan. And then, hihimayin po natin ang PBA Finals. And of course, mga samot-saring mga issue na bumabalot po sa PBA Finals. Kasama si Dominic Uy at si Carlo Pamintuan. Pero ngayon po, sa ating pagsisimula, hindi na po tayo magsisimula sa ating Sports Weekly Highlights dahil may malaking balitang pumutok kagabi. Ito po ang hindi na po pagpapatuloy ng isang legendary at veteranong coach ng PBA. Siya po ay ika nga nagdesisyon kasama ng kanyang koponan na maghiwalay na. At ngayon po nasa ating pong linya na walang iba kundi ang laman ng balita, si Coach Yeng Guiao ng NLEX Road Warriors. Magandang umaga, Coach Yeng.
Chairman na pala, Chairman Noli. Congratulations sa iyo at magandang umaga sa lahat ng milyong-milyong mga sumusunod sa iyong programa.
Naku po, sana nga ganun karami, Coach. Pero ngayon, I'm sure marami dahil ikaw ay naririyan, ha? Well,
hindi. Yes, sa iyo yun. Sa iyo, fans mo yan.
Salamat, Coach. Salamat. Coach, ikaw ang nagkaroon ng malaking balita kahapon dahil nga doon sa naging desisyon mo at ng NLEX na ika nga ay maghiwalay. Kaya gusto ko na makuha diretso sa iyo dahil hindi ka pa naman nagbibigay ng statement. Ano ba ang sabi sa balita dahil sa isang contract dispute or hindi kayo nagkasundo sa kontrata? Ano ba talaga ang naging rason kung bakit nagdesisyon ka ng kumalas mula sa bakuran ng NLEX Road Warriors?
Well, siguro itong opportunity na ibinigay mo na ito sa akin, Chairman, na gagamitin na nating paraan para ibigay yung ating statement or position, no? In an informal way kasi hindi na rin ako siguro mag-i-issue ng formal statement, no? Marami ng marami ng kumausap din sa akin, and in a way they've also stated my position, and maybe this is also an opportunity to do that. Nagpapasalamat ako sa iyo sa pagkakataon. Una, napaka-thankful and grateful ko doon sa opportunity na binigay ni Boss MVP, no, si Boss Manny Pangilinan, to be of service to them as a head coach of the NLEX Road Warriors. Napakagandang opportunity nun sa akin. I have no regrets, no, in that aspect. Sina Boss Rod Franco, ang presidente namin sa NLEX, si Boss Luigi Bautista, yung aming management committee. Meron kaming management committee doon. They were very professional. They were good people. Wala kang masasabi sa kanila, no? Si Boss Ronald Dolatre na parating nakatutok sa team namin. I'll take the opportunity also to thank my coaching staff, no. Napakasipag nila, napakagaling ng coaching staff ko, no. And then yung mga players, syempre kahapon kinausap ko na sila, malungkot no. Malungkot kahapon na kinausap ko na sila, nagpaalam ako. Pati yung aming mga support staff, yung mga utility namin, tsaka yung mga trainers namin. Malungkot, pero alam mo, kasama yan sa buhay ng coach. Kasama yan. Na pagkapasok mo, unang araw mo sa pagpo-coach, kailangan na nasa isip mo na darating yung araw na gano'n. At ako, nakahanda naman ako sa gano'n. But I thank them. They are very good people. They're very professional. Wala akong masabi sa kanila. Siguro, ang lang is, the main reason is, I feel marami pa akong pwedeng i-contribute sa coaching, but The problem there was the opportunity they were giving me was to be a part of their corporate their corporate setup. Napakaganda naman nung offer nila, no. Napakaganda. It was very tempting actually. Pinag-usapan namin ng family ko. But it would mean accepting that offer, it would mean parang lalayo ako sa coaching, no. Ayoko pa naman. Ang tingin ko, makakapag-contribute pa ako. Actually, ang feeling ko, mas magaling ako mag-coach ngayon kaysa nung una akong dumating sa NLEX.
Naman!
No, with the 6 years of experience, no, going to the World Cup, going to the Asian Games.
Oo.
Alam mo, kahit na short ka dun sa dun sa goals mo, minsan talaga mas marami ka natututunan pagka during your failures, during your shortcomings.
Oo.
Mas marami kang natututunan. So nandun 'yon, no, yung wisdom, experience and the knowledge. Fresh na fresh, no. Pagka tumigil ako, mawawala 'yon, baka hindi ko na ma-share sa iba.
Coach,
So,
let me stop you there. Bago malimutan ko yung thought na to, when you're saying na baka malayo ka dun sa pagko-coach, ang ibig bang sabihin yung ino-offer sa'yo ay hindi coaching job?
Hindi, it was in the corporate, it was in the corporate,
It was in the corporate structure.
It was a corporate
Position. Uh-huh.
Yes. So, I'm not ready to retire. Pero at the same time, I'm taking a risk. Sabi ko nga, I'm taking a risk because hindi natin alam kung meron pang interested naman di ba? Hindi natin alam kung once you test the market, you're not really sure kung anong mangyayari. But at the same time, handa rin ako for that. I'm ready to take care of my personal matters, personal business. So, ganun talaga, no? But I'd like to be able to explore or make myself available if there is an opportunity to still coach.
Alright. Coach, ito ba yung decision mo ba? Obviously, yung naging offer sa iyo at yung decision mo na hindi tanggapin yan and kahit gusto mo pa mag-coach. Wala naman itong, sabi nga nila, amicable daw yung pagkakahiwalay ninyo. Wala naman itong kinalaman sa mga nangyayari nung nakaraan na yung mga trades na nagawa ng NLEX, yung mga nawalang player sana sa iyo na pagpapalakas ng team. May mga haka-haka kasing gano'n na baka daw sumama ang loob mo at kaya ito'y nagdagdag sa rason kung bakit nag-decide kang umalis. Pakiklaro mo kaya.
Wala. Actually, gusto ko pa mag-coach dito. Mahal ko tong team na to, no? Gusto kong kasama sina Boss Rod, sina MVP, sina Boss Ronald, sina Boss Luigi, yung aming mantom. Gusto ko silang kasama, no? Kaya lang hindi nga coaching job yung in-offer nila. So if they offered me a coaching job, I would still be here actually.
I see.
Because I still want the coaching. So hindi dahil dun sa mga sinasabi nila na meron naging problema with regards to the previous trades or may mga
wala yon, hindi ka lang
iba-ibang klaseng intriga
Oo.
Walang atraso sa akin ng NLEX.
Okay.
Gusto ko lang talaga mag-coach but the offer was not for a coaching job.
If you were not going to be selected as coach, sino ang magko-coach ng NLEX? Ano ba naging plano doon?
Alam mo, Chairman, hindi ko na tinanong yan no? Kasi it's basically none of my business anymore. No? So sila na siguro makakasagot niyan dahil decision naman nila yan.
Alright.
Decision nila yan.
Okay, sabi mo nga, you are putting yourself out there and of course, unang-una coach, maraming bilib sa'yo. Ako, nagulat ako sa naging desisyon. You are the last coach na nanalo outside of the PLDT San Miguel group, no, when you were still with Rain or Shine. So talagang alam ng tao ang galing mo. You are the 7th winningest coach in PBA history. Everything is there for you. Ano ang plano mo ngayon? May mga nagsasabi na may usapan with Rain or Shine. Is that true? Totoo ba yan? Alam
mo, Chairman, pagka wala akong problema with Raynor Sian. Galing ako dyan, no? They're family to me, no? But it's still going to be their decision, no? Kung gusto nila akong magbalik or hindi, or there is any other option there. There are other teams that might be interested. I will
Consider.
I will consider them. Kaya nga natin respectfully declined yung offer doon sa corporate position is because we still want to be able to coach, no? So kung ganyan, but ayoko kasi na I think when you reach a certain point, no, parang ayaw mo na lalapit ka, mag-a-apply ka, kakausapin mo, no?
Yeah. At a certain stature, talagang hindi naman kailangan na yun sa iyo eh. hindi ka na kailangan mag-apply. Ikaw na ang hinahanap. Oo.
Yes.
Coach,
so
does that mean...
Ganun lang. I'll just let it be and see what happens.
Does that mean everything is on the table? In other words, it's possible even as the San Miguel group? Kasi may mga bali-balita din na you can... obviously, you're now free. Yan ay isang option. Yung paglipat sa kahit anong kupunan, including San Miguel.
Including any option. Hindi ka naman mamimili eh. Titingnan mo lang talaga yung opportunity. Siguro ang unang-una dyan is, of course, kung sino yung maunang lumapit at kung sino yung unang merong magandang offer, you have to appreciate that.
Okay.
So you have to appreciate yung makita nila yung urgency, no? At nauna silang kumausap sa'yo, nauna silang nakipag they get in touch, no? First. Of course you have to give them that that importance and the priority.
All right.
So ganun lang, no? Last night pa lang naman to last night pa lang
lumabas.
Actually, we tried to keep it a secret for the last few days kasi
okay.
nga we were still contemplating kung ano ba to, parang retirement na ba to, tanggapin natin dahil maayos na tao to mga to, maayos na kumpanya to no? Or take the risk, test the market. Kung walang mangyari, then we will accept that. Kagabi lang, kahapon lang actually na desisyonan with finality.
Hindi ka pa pwede mag-retire, coach. At pag nag-retire ka, pati kapatid ko, kailangan mag-retire na rin. Kaya hindi po pwede yun.
Hindi pwede. Dahil magkasabay kami magre-retire ng kapatid ko.
Oo nga. Coach Yeng, before I let you go, obviously, you're leaving NLEX. Sabi mo nga, in very good terms, best part of your stay. Bagamat hindi kayo nakakuha ng kampyonato, are you satisfied with having stayed with the NLEX Road Warriors?
Yes, I'm very satisfied. I only have one regret siguro, kung meron man.
Okay.
No? Na ang tingin ko kasi ito yung stage na yung piyesa ng team, yung camaraderie, yung chemistry, yung pag-absorb nila ng system, andyan na no? Parang konting breakthrough na lang isang pero the timing siguro for us is not the best timing, pero siyempre hindi naman yung timing namin ang tinitingnan ng management meron din silang timing on their side. So that is my only regret na
hinug na.
Oo, last conference we were one free throw away from making it to the semifinals.
Semifinals, that's right. Oo.
So yung last game 3 namin sa Magnolia, nag-overtime pero hindi na mag-overtime yun kung pumasok lang isang free throw namin. We could have been in the semifinals. Who knows what can happen. So it's in a breakthrough position. So I will be proud if this team is able to advance and play even better, even without me. No? So I will take pride in that.
Coach, before I let you go, ito, may mga nagte-text na sa akin na tanungin ko daw, bakit hindi in-offer ang coaching? Bakit corporate? What is the reason given? Was there any reason given at all?
I cannot answer that because that is not for me. That is not for me to answer. Kasi syempre, that is not my decision and that is totally the decision of management. So, mahirap sagutin yun.
Okay.
Hindi ko kayang sagutin yun dahil hindi talaga ako yung nandun sa posisyon na para sumagot.
Hopefully, makuha natin ang panig din ng NLEX. Well, they've given a short statement already, but definitely, sabi nila it is an amicable separation. Coach Yeng, I wish you all the best. Alam mo, libre yung commissionership sa PSC. Pwede ka rin doon, Coach, kung gusto mo.
Thank you, Kom. But yun nga, dito muna ako sa coaching. Tignan natin kung may mangyayari.
Okay. Coach, maraming salamat. Good luck sa'yo and all the best.
Good luck din sa'yo, Chairman. Good luck sa'yo. I'm sure you'll do a great job.
Salamat. Mga kaibigan, ang ating kaibigan, Coach Yeng Guiao, dating coach po ng NLEX Road Warriors. Well, again, ganyan talaga ang buhay. No? May mga bagay na minsan dumadating na po doon sa puntong yon. Sabi nga ni Coach Yeng, gusto niya pa mag-coach. And definitely he should dahil napakarami pa pong pwedeng ibigay. And I'm sure, tutunog na ang telepono ni Coach Yeng maya-maya at ang dami na pong magtatatawag dyan. Again, good luck kay Coach Yeng Guiao. Marami pong bagay-bagay no, na mahirap pa. Pero sana makuha natin din ang panig ng NLEX Road Warriors. Alright, tuloy-tuloy po tayo. Ngayon po, gusto ko lang ibigay ang ating pinupulsuhan ngayong araw pong ito. Ito ay related na rin sa aking pagpasok po sa PSC. Ang ating pong pulso ng bayan ngayong araw pong ito, hatid sa inyo ng Chooks to Go, nag-iisang manok ng bayan. Ito po ano pong mga reforma ang gusto nyong makita sa Philippine sports? Ano po, simpleng-simple lang, matulungan lang ninyo at mabigyan nyo ako ng konting tip. Ano po ang mga reforma na gusto nyong makita sa Philippine sports? Kung gusto nyo po makisama sa ating talakayan, mag-post lang po ninyong komentaryo on all socials. Of course, sa aming pong Facebook page and of course, sa aking pong Twitter account. Alright. Ngayon po, syempre dito sa ating palatuntunan, patuloy po ang pamimigay natin ng mga premyo. Again, ito po ang aking pong gustong paalala. Meron pa rin po tayong Joyride Super Up Top Up promo. Tuloy-tuloy po ang ating pamimigay ng 1,000 pesos e-wallet credits mula sa Joyride Super Up. Napakasimple lang po para po kayo ay makakuha o magkaroon ng pagkakataong manalo ng 1,000 pesos e-wallet credits. Download ang latest version ng Joyride Super App. Screenshot nyo lang po yung app's home screen. Dapat kasama yung account name ninyo at ipadala sa amin pong Power and Play Facebook page via private message. Sama nyo po ang inyong pangalan at ang registered mobile number. At sa katapusan po ng palatuntunan, kami po ay pipili ng 5 lucky winners. Yan po ang Joyride Super App Top Up promo on Power and Play. Alright, at this point, pasok na natin ang ating paboritong segment, ang Fast Take.
Power and Play with Kom Noli Eala.
Ang Fast Take ay hatid sa inyo ng Cherry Tigo. It's fun to drive. At ang ating po mga kasama ngayon, mga veteranong, mga sports journalists. Walang iba ang ating mga kaibigang Homer Saison at Abac Cordero. Magandang umaga, Homer and Abac.
Tom, how are you?
Good morning. Good morning, Abac.
Good morning.
Good morning, Chairman. Good morning, Homer.
Yun, nakuha ko rin yung dalawang importanteng mga journalists sa aking show. Unang-una, let me just thank you. Kayong dalawa, you've sent me your messages of support. Thank you so much, really, for all that support. And I wanna throw that question sa inyo, yung aming, before we start our Fast Take, yung ating, very briefly lang, alam ko marami kayong alam dyan, but isa lang, ano sa tingin nyo magandang reforma sa Philippine sports? I'll begin with you, Abac.
Well, right now, Philippine sports is at a high, ano? So yung reforms na tinatawag natin, siguro naman nagawa na, kaya tayo nanalo na ng gold sa Tokyo for the first time in nearly 100 years, ano? So it's just a matter of sustaining the gains of the Tokyo Olympics and the 2019 success in the SEA Games.
Alright.
With my friend at the helm, I think there will be no problem with that.
Homer, any thoughts on reforms that you can see, or at least nakikita nyo sa ibang bansa that we can do?
Well, it has to be more shine a light on other sports, Commissioner, not just basketball, obviously, and the weightlifting, other sports. Like, for instance, yung skating. We had a very good skater who did not have the backing, did not have the financial backing and help of the NSAs. I hope the PSC under your helm would be able to appropriate funds and support to other sports that don't have the same popularity as the ones that we already have now, like athletics and the other thing. And another thing also, Commissioner, I think the commissioners, the members of the board should be, accessible to the public. Based on my own personal experience, when I was trying to do the story on the skating, and one of the commissioners in charge of the Skating Federation was board member Eroy, and I messaged him saying I was gonna do a story and what was gonna be done for Michael Martinez as he represents the country. I didn't even get a courtesy reply. I mean, I'm not worried about that. Sanay naman tayo. They have no, if this were a PBA executive, it's fine because you are a private entity. But if you work for the government and there is a legitimate question about sports and an athlete that will represent the country, I think it is incumbent on you to reply. So it is my hope that I know ikaw, Commissioner, you've been media savvy, having carried other heavy responsibilities like PBA, SBP, Executive Director. I know that you will include that in your mandate. So hopefully, yun, Commissioner. Public accessibility of the officers and shining a light on other events.
All right. Well, those are very well said, and obviously, note natin yan at sana nga ay magkaroon tayo ng pagkakataon na magawa lahat ang mga programa para sa pagpapagaling pa ng ating mundo ng palakasan. And with your help, I'm sure the job will be easier. All right. Well, tuloy na tayo sa fast take natin. Alam niyo na ang drill dito. Bato-bato sa langit, tamaan, wag magagalit. Ang mahalaga dito ang opinion nyo. And of course, walang tama, walang mali. You have 1 minute to answer every question. I have 3 issues to throw this morning. At unahin na natin ang ating unang issue at ito tungkol sa Gilas Pilpinas. Alam natin kung ano naging performance ng Gilas in the 4th window. But ang tanong, yung 5th window, ano na ang mangyayari? So ang tanong is, anong expectation nyo sa Gilas sa November window ng FIBA World Cup qualifiers? I will begin with you, Homer. 1 minute. Go!
Well, the expectations are tepid. We're gonna play Jordan and Saudi Arabia. We will beat both, I suppose. There will be no PBA players because that would be in the middle of a conference. But it would also give us an opportunity, a window, a peek into a window of sino mga collegiate players that we might be able to use. But then again, based on our history with the SBP, they always had this ability to somehow snatch victory from the defeat from the jaws of victory. So you never know kung ano mangyari. May kapalpakan na naman. But my hope is that hopefully sana wala. But with no PBA players, Commissioner, but then given the competition na Saudi lang and Jordan, we should be okay. We should skate through this window, Commissioner. And at the end of the day, the bigger picture here is really February, the World Cup. That's the biggest picture. Nakausap ko yung tatay ni Jordan Clarkson 2 nights ago, and it seems like Jordan Clarkson will play for that World Cup. So we build around him. This window is only window dressing.
Well, we're certainly looking forward to seeing Jordan again, but again, ang tanong, isa pang malaking tanong dyan, sino maglalaro dyan sa November window? Abak, same issue. Anong expectation mo sa Gilas for the 5th window ng qualifiers? 1 minute, Abak. Go!
Well, Chairman, I expect nothing more than what we saw against Lebanon and Saudi Arabia. For one, Jordan Clarkson will not be around, as well as the PBA players. Those are big shoes to fill for anyone else. Pero it doesn't mean naman that there's nothing to look forward to, because yung Gilas team naman, once you support it, masarap naman talaga subaybayan yan. Sayang, if we can have Junmar and or CJ, yung previous course, sila Kai, Japet, Dwight, and the Ravenna, si Ray Parks, guaranteed yan. Sabi nga ni Homer, we should beat Jordan and Saudi Arabia. This window should give also Coach Chotres another opportunity to know some players, to build the chemistry. Sayang lang because we really don't seem to get the chance to pull the players whom really we want to see in the World Cup. The clock is ticking, Chairman, and we can keep on experimenting with players or fielding players whom we know na wala naman sa real battle. The problem is we don't really have a choice.
Eksakto yung sinabi mo, Abak. Really, the clock is ticking at nasayang na nga yung first 5 years and we're down to our final year and we're still building our team. But, hindi na natin pwede. Sabi nga nila, we cannot cry over spilled milk. Dapat we continue to build and hopefully we will get there in the World Cup with our main players. Alright, second issue of the morning. Nako, nanalo kagabi ang San Miguel Beer. Tinambakan ng token text. At ngayon, tabla na ang serye ng PBA Finals. So ang tanong, ano ang pinakamalaking factor sa Game 7 ng PBA Philippine Cup Finals? Abak, I'll begin with you. 1 minute, go!
If it's the biggest factor, then I can only think of one, Chairman, Homer. It's who's healthy and who's not. Diba? The team with a healthier lineup, the team with more players in uniforms and able and willing to play will definitely have the edge. In this case, it's San Miguel. TNT missed Jason Castro and Glenn Cabuntin last night, and it told heavily on them. It didn't help also that the defending champions had si Marshall Lassiter and Simon Siso hitting their three-pointers like they were free throws. Tapos si Cabuntin is out for good. He will be missed, siyempre. Si Jason naman, he vowed to try his best to help his team tomorrow. Pero mahirap yan, Chairman and Homer, when the mind is willing but the body is not. He can still hit the big shot, but at 36, medyo parang he's starting to feel his age. Makikita mo naman sa mga games, when he takes a fall, para matagal na tumayo si Jason. Baka marupok na. But mahirap dito. San Miguel is looking very good. But still, I want to see Jason Castro hit the game winner tomorrow.
All right. I want a full compliment sana para talagang pag Game 7 talagang bakbakan ng umati kabuyan. Homer, same issue. Ano sa tingin mo ang pinakamalaking factor sa Game 7 na gaganapin sa Sunday? 1 minute, Homer. Go!
Coaching. I think coaching is very important. I've made it clear from the very beginning of this series that Coach Leo Austria is getting in the way of another championship for San Miguel. The rotations, the identification of roles in the lineup is very confusing. Minsan starting si Enciso. Sometimes he doesn't start. Sometimes it's Moto Tua who's playing more minutes. Sometimes it's Vic Emmanuel. What you do with TNT, they go with the same go with the same sets, the same players. If you lose or win, you go by the same strategy. Walang confusion. So I think that would be important. Leo Austria has to figure out whether you want to play 2 bigs or you just want to play 1 big and then surround it with 4 smalls. Every time they do that, Commissioner, they have a better chance. Just like yesterday. How many minutes did Vic Manuel play? 15 minutes, 5 points. They put more guards in there. Enciso played 25 minutes, scored 20 points. That's the whatchamacallit. That's the template to beat TNT because you cannot have 2 bigs there and you have Pugoy and Williams on the other side. Coaching, very important.
I totally agree. Injuries, health, of course, sabi ni Abak. Coaching, sabi ni Homer. I'd like to see the 2 biggest stars play their best. Mikey Williams was held to 2 points last night on 1 of 13 shooting. Hindi po pwede yan. Kahit anong mangyari, Mikey has to score. And of course, Junmar Fajardo will be the biggest factor there dahil kung mapipigilan si Junmar Fajardo, there is a chance. But if you let him loose, it's all over for the San Miguel Beermen. So it'll be very interesting. Sana nga mapanood natin yan bukas na napakagandang Game 7. Alright, let's go to our third and final issue of the morning. Ito ay related pa rin sa basketball. Ang laking balitang pumutok, Matthew Wright ay nagpaalam na rin sa PBA at papunta na ng Japan dahil siya ay pumirma na sa kontrata sa B-League. Ang tanong, ano ang impact ng pag-alis ng isang superstar katulad ni Matthew Wright mula sa PBA? I'll begin with you, Homer. 1 minute. Go!
Well, the impact is very huge, Commissioner. It means that the likability of the PBA had diminished. tumawag sa akin si Matthew Wright and he called me and this is what stunned me so much, Commissioner. Sabi ni Matthew sa akin, nagpaalam na siya sa Phoenix 1 year ago, meaning to say they had the complement of 365 days to prepare, that either you match the offer or you let him go. But unfortunately, going back to your impact, is that the independent teams just do not have the financial wherewithal to compete. And another thing also, the impact on this is the PBA, parang nasasawa na ang ibang mga, just like fans are tired of the intramurals between MVP and SMC. How many conferences have we now gone through na the top 4 are always MVP and SMC teams? It was daunting, stunning to me when Matthew said, I needed to challenge myself. Meaning to say, wala nang challenge, Commissioner, sa PBA. Palagi na lang SMC, MVP group. Palagi na lang San Miguel, TNT. So they have to fix that if we have a chance to stop the exodus of players exiting the PBA.
Especially at that level, yung mga superstar level, because malaking bagay yan. Abak, same issue. Anong impact ng pag-alis ng isang superstar katulad ni Matthew Wright? 1 minute, Abak. Go.
Well, the PBA just lost another player to watch, ano. But it's really not something new naman because we've seen Kiefer and Bobby Ray head to Japan as well, ano. But the PBA went on and it will keep moving on, ano, despite their departure. So ang impact in general, I'm not really sure about that. Kaya for me, the impact, the Matthew Wright's decision to move to Japan will be felt more by Phoenix, more than the PBA itself. I think we've seen the last of Matthew Wright because the rule, for if you play for 2 years, playing overseas, he would wait another 3 years before he can return to the PBA. And at 31 years old, plus 2 or 3 years in Japan, that makes him 33 and 34. And another 3 years of waiting, baka 37, 38 na siya before he returns to the PBA. So I think that's it for Matthew, no? Hindi ba? So back to the question, kung ano ang impact sa PBA ng departure ni Matthew Wright, it's not as big as Mount Everest.
I agree. I mean, obviously, it is a huge development for Phoenix. Obviously, there are optics issue here dahil nagkakaroon ngayon ng pananaw na kahit na ganong kagaling na player, kahit na ganong kalaki, alam naman natin, sinisweldohan yan, pwede talagang malure away from the PBA. But the PBA is there. It is an institution. We've built it that way. It does not depend on one player or one person alone. It will remain there. But ang tanong, what kind of policies now, what kind of developments in the PBA ang dapat nilang gawin so that they can also address this, this obviously decision of players to leave the league. Dahil kailangan pa rin natin yung mga ganyang klaseng mga superstars. Gentlemen, again, thank you for joining me today. Homer, thank you as always. It's pleasure to have both of you on the show. Abak, lagi akong hihingi ng suporta sa iyo as well. Maraming salamat sa inyong dalawa.
Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Chairman.
Welcome to the world of politics.
Thank you. Mga kaibigan, ang ating mga kaibigan, Spin.ph contributor and columnist si Homer Saison, and of course, Philippine Star veteran scribe si Abak Cordero. Alright, bago tayo mag-break, isa muna pong paalala mula sa Smart. Puso Pilipinas is a movement to celebrate the Filipino athlete powered by Smart. Follow them on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Get a chance to win exclusive Puso Pilipinas merch by sharing their Facebook page in your social media accounts with hashtag Puso Pilipinas. The Gigalife app is the latest mobile app from Smart that lets you discover and enjoy your passions with the different Giga promos. It can be downloaded and used by Smart Postpaid, Smart Prepaid, Bro Prepaid, and TNT subscribers via the Apple or Google Play Store. What can the Gigalife app do for me? Check your balance, monitor your current subscription, top up using debit credit card, subscribe to the latest Giga promos, monitor your data consumption, auto-detect your mobile number when you are connected to Smart Network one-tap subscription to the most popular offer, Giga Video 99. And of course, Power and Play is powered by Smart. Live Smart! Sa amin pong pagbabalik ang ating mga kasama, ang ating mga kaibigan para himayin ang mga issues ng basketball. Dominic Uy and Carlo Pamintuan. Ito po ang Power and Play. Hatid sa inyo ng Chooks to Go, Cherry Loom, Cherry Tigo at ng True Religion.
I dare to dream big, to be a voice of my generation, to inspire resilience in the face of roadblocks. And in sharing my stories, I let others share in my passion.
Follow Kai's stories on Twitter and share yours with Smart Double Giga Stories. Share 2 times the passion with 2 gigabytes for Twitter and more. Guaranteed every day, plus data for all sites.
Simple, smart ako.
Alex, are you ready to have some fun on your first driving lesson?
Nag-uumapaw sa real chicken juice na swak sa panlasa ng buong pamilya. Available in sweet roast, pepper roast, at harissa roast variants. Chooks to go. Masarap kahit walang sauce. Tawag na sa Chooks to Go Delivery Hotline 8687-1010 o online sa chookstogodelivery.com or via GrabFood at Foodpanda.
Mukhang kailangan. Mag-iisang taong pa lang yan, may tulo na kagad.
Ay, bossing! Baka naman kasi hindi matibay yung ginamit nyo. Dapat ang gamitin mo ay cherry loom, ang yerong aluminum. Basta yero, cherry loom. Tibay protektado sa pangmatagalang yero.
Humanda na sa mas pinatinding tapatan ng lakas ng tatlo. Tuloy ang laban sa PBA 3x3 Season 2. Simula September 10 sa One Sports at PBA Rush.
Mukhang kailangan ko na naman palitan ng bubong ko, pare. Mag-iisang taong pa lang yan, may tulo na kagad.
Ay, bossing! Baka naman kasi hindi matibay yung ginamit nyo. Dapat ang gamitin mo ay cherry loom, ang yerong aluminum. Basta yero, cherry loom. Tibay protektado sa pangmatagalang yero.
Buong liga, buong puwersa, handang-handa na! Game! PBA Season 47 Philippine Cup, Wednesdays to Sundays sa TV5 at One Sports.
Mukhang kailangan ko na naman palitan ng bubong ko, pare. Mag-iisang taong pa lang yan, may tulo na kagad.
Ay, bossing! Baka naman kasi hindi matibay yung ginamit nyo. Dapat ang gamitin mo ay cherry loom, ang yerong aluminum. Basta yero, cherry loom. Tibay protektado sa pangmatagalang yero.
Power and Play Game na sa Radyo 5 92.3 News FM.
Naimbag nga bigat yung amin sa ating po mga kasamahan sa Vegan, sa Lawag, and of course sa San Esteban, Ilocos Sur. O, tsaka pala, binabati natin ating kaibigan si Congressman Robert Eski Estrella ng isang happy birthday. Thank you so much for the invitation. Kagabi, kaklase ko yan, seatmate ko, si Kong Eski. At God bless you. More power, Kong Eski. Binabati ko rin po nga pala ang aking anak, si Lexi, ng isang happy birthday as well. Have a good and fun time there in Chicago, sweetie. Alright. At this point, mga kaibigan, pasok na natin pagpatuloy po natin ang pag-uusap tungkol sa mga issues sa basketball. At ngayon naman pag-usapan natin ang PBA Finals at iba't ibang mga related na topics. Ang ating po mga kasama ngayon, walang iba kundi ang mga veteran broadcasters, and of course, they cover the games, Carlo Pamintuan and Dominic Uy. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, Chairman. Thank you for having us. Kami na naman nagkasabay nitong si Dominic Uy. Parang palagi na lang. Siya yung partner ko pag nag-guest dito sa show mo, Chairman.
Kayo ang lab team eh. Dom, good morning.
Good morning, Chairman. Congratulations.
Salamat. Thank you so much. I guess I will not see you too often in the golf course. Kaya paghahandaan ko na lang ikaw after 6 years. Guys, let me go straight to the point. Before I talk about the PBA, let me talk first just a little bit about Gilas. Alam naman natin, ang dami-daming naging concerns and issues just before window 4. And then of course, the Lebanon game happened, and then the Saudi Arabia route came up and that masterful win. Sa tingin nyo ba napawi na yung mga concerns ng mga tao after those 2 games ng Gilas Pilpinas with Kai Soto, with Jordan Clarkson, and the rest of the PBA, including sila Dwight Ramos? I'll begin with you, Carlo.
I think a little bit, but to be honest, I don't think it will die down completely until we see the team competing in the 2023 FIBA Basketball World Cup, no? Kasi yun talaga yung hinihingi ng Gilas program, even Coach Shot Reyes. Be patient with our development and ipapakita namin sa inyo kung anong magagawa namin come 2023. So some of the fans are a little bit impatient with the process. They want to see wins now. So magpapatuloy yung ganitong proseso. There will continue to be some friction, but I think there were some fans that were calmed down a little bit with that win. But I think this process will continue until the start of the World Cup.
Yun nga, yung ganun, yung sinasabi ni Carlo, talagang meron pa rin siguro residue, tuloy-tuloy pa rin yung mga issues na ganyan. What do you think is the main concern? Bakit medyo meron pa rin alinlangan ang mga fans sa Gilas Pilpinas?
Well, I think it's 2 things, no? And I completely agree with Carlo that it's not really, hindi mauubos yan. I think 2 concerns. I think the direction of the program, because we've seen what has happened before, right? That when you have a program, we give them enough time to practice, we have success. So fans, obviously, the hardcore fans want to see, okay, what's the plan? What are we going to do? To give us a really good chance, especially we're hosting in 2023. Second, obviously, it's all over social media. There are some people that don't really like who is put at head coach right now. But it is what it is for me, right? We need to support him, made the commitment to him, need that support. And I think Jordan Clarkson and Dwight Ramos put it in perspective that, they're one team, whoever that is, that we need to support, we need to trust, we need to believe. This is the situation that we have now. But moving forward, we can only change or improve if we look at what we need, what we're going to do moving forward. Obviously, we have to look back and see ano ba yung mistakes. And then moving forward, we'll set the things that are right and what we're supposed to do and follow through on it. Wag na plano lang. We need to be able to really make sure na magagawa natin.
A few players have said na nakasama dun sa Gilas Pilpinas that they think that this team with Kai and Jordan Clarkson is going to do something special. I think that was mentioned by Bobby Ray. Carlo, if you look at this team, what is it lacking and who are you adding if you had an opportunity to make that decision?
Yun nga yung masaya from seeing this window come, no? There are players there that you can consider really as shoo-ins for the 2023 team. If you have a talent like Jordan Clarkson playing, of course, you put him there. Kai Soto is there. Japet Aguilar will be playing his 3rd World Cup in 2023, di ba? Dahil effective pa rin itong si Japet. Dwight is of course there. Pero syempre meron pa rin mga players who were not available during that span na pwede nating idagdag. CJ Perez is one. He might be playing his 2nd World Cup. Of course, Junmar Fajardo might be playing his 3rd again. It's still up in the air kung sino yung pwedeng isama dun sa pool. But again, as Dom said, all that matters is if you select the players, you give them enough time. And the PBA has committed to giving them enough time come 2023. 2 conference lang yung lalaroin instead of 3, to give really the players as much time as they need to be able to build chemistry. Kasi yun talaga yung kailangan eh. The talent is there. What we need is for it to mature, to come together, and for them to perform as one single unit come the World Cup.
Dom, are you still going to include young players along the way now, going into the World Cup? Is that something that should still be considered, or are we to really sabi na natin, wala na, tama na muna yung experimentation, let's go with our veterans. What do you think about that?
I think end of the day, whether veterans or young players, I think it'll depend really on the chemistry and the talent that will be needed. Like Carlos said, there will be some shoe-ins. So the guys that will be put in those certain positions, whether they're young or a little bit older or a veteran, will really depend on the selection process. I have no bias whether young or old. I really feel that we need to be able to field the best team. And when I mean the best team, not necessarily the ones with the most amount of talent, but the ones who can really play well together so that we can have a really good showing for 2023.
Well, yeah, I share that same sentiment. I really hope that we get the best team out there. Dahil hindi naman kailangan lahat obviously not everyone will get the same kind of minutes that they are getting. So it's just a matter of filling in and finding out ano ba yung pathway natin patungo sa top 8, and maybe we can start matching up and really seeing ano bang kailangan natin to make it to that point na we are the best Asian team so that we make the Paris Olympics in 2024. All right, let's go to the PBA. Guys, you cover the PBA. What a series. Up and down. Of course, kagabi tinambakan ng San Miguel. They came off really hot in the start. You see Simon Enciso coming out. And of course, the old Marshall Lassiter. What has been the key so far in this series, Carlo?
For game number 6, and I will steal a lot of analysis from Coach Jong Wichico na huli kong nakatrabaho sa PBA Rush. What was important for San Miguel Beer was that they did not dump the ball inside to Junmar Fajardo as much as they could. They did not do it early. They did not do it often. Instead, everyone else got going first. Kasi Kelly Williams, we have to admit, has been doing a tremendous job of defending Junmar Fajardo. And if you're San Miguel at dun ka pupunta, the Junmar-centric offense, alam ng TNT kung paano dedepensahan yan. Now, Coach Jong also said that when you don't run, when you don't push the pace, if you're San Miguel, hindi mo pinapayagan sila CJ Perez and Jericho Cruz to really play into their strengths, which did not happen in game number 6. No, they ran at every opportunity, they shot with confidence, and as a result, Fajardo did not have to do too much. He was perfect from the field, still picked up his double-double. He was reduced to an offensive rebound and putback maker. And that's exactly what this SMB team was built for. Hindi na to yung kupunan with Alex Cabagnot and Arwin Santos who needed to play 40-plus minutes per ball game. Na kailangan talaga bagalan yung pace ng laro because they had so much to do. This one is a deeper team. It's a bit of a change from that 5-peat dynasty, and I think they were able to maximize their pieces in game number 6.
Dom, are you concerned if you're in TNT's corner? Kagaya na sinasabi ni Carlo na hindi pa nga masyadong nakakuha ng touches or shots si Junmar, and yet pumutok sila. Plus, of course, the injuries that have befallen the TNT Tropang Giga. Should you be concerned?
Oh, definitely concerned. No, first and foremost, in game number 5, San Miguel only made 4 3-point shots. Last night's game, they made 16. So that is a big jump from them. Like Carlos said, the points came from everybody else. But if you notice also the starting 5 that they used yesterday, they had Vic Manuel and Chris Ross. So you knew first they wanted to run. Second, they wanted a double attack on the post. We've seen it a number of times during the series that Vic Manuel would actually be the primary post player and Junmar would be coming from the weak side. So he ends up sealing 1-on-1. But it didn't have to happen first because Junmar got 2 fouls quick. And then CJ actually attacked the cup a number of times, and then Marshall hit from the outside. So, shooting that well, it is really something the way San Miguel is built, meaning that, Simon Enciso became streaky, his biggest game maybe in a San Miguel uniform. So that was huge for them. For TNT, their bigger concern is the injuries. Glenn Cubuntin is out. Without Glenn Cubuntin, they lose that ability to play small because he can match up well and actually defend Vic Manuel when he's there. So that is really a big problem. Jason Castro, hopefully for them, that he will be healthy, he will be able to play minutes. You could see that it was a game time decision yesterday that they didn't use him, preparing for tomorrow and preserving because they knew they had tomorrow, right? So that is definitely a concern. They did not shoot all that well. Pogoy played amazing, but for them to have a chance, Jason needs to be able to play, and then the bigs have to score. Guys like Troy Rosario and JP Aram need to be able to assert and put some points on the board.
I want to ask you your fearless forecast, but I know kayo mga broadcaster, ayaw nyo maglabas ng fearless forecast dahil hindi naman maganda dahil magkakaroon ng bias ang coverage. But here's what I want to ask you. Kung merong matrix na susundan tayo and there's one factor in that matrix that will be a measure of the outcome tomorrow, Carlo, anong aabangan mong particular factor in the game that you think will be a key to the victory for any of the teams?
I think Mikey Williams, he has to be a bigger factor. 2 points, that was a career worst performance for Mikey, and it happened in a game na talagang kinailangan niyang umiscore dahil wala nga itong si Jason Castro. No? If Jason Castro will play or not is yet to be known, but one thing we are sure of is that he will be not 100%.
Yeah.
Diba? Kung maglaro man siya, hindi yan completely healthy. He's coming off a bum ankle, and it's tough when you are a player anchored upon your speed like Jason Castro, not having your wheels 100% bare.
Yeah.
So I think Mikey Williams will be the determining factor here. If he plays well, TNT has a chance. If he struggles like how he struggled in game number 6, then SMB has a bigger chance of winning.
Dom?
I think for San Miguel, since Carlo took TNT already, I'll talk about San Miguel. Historically, it's already, if you look back, I keep mentioning this, whenever San Miguel has won a championship, Marcio has come out as a best player in one of the 4 wins.
Yeah.
It's happened yesterday. And then in the closeout games, Junmar comes up with an amazing performance. So if they want to be able to close it out, if you're San Miguel, Junmar cannot just have 10 points. It has to be, you can call it a Junmar-centric, go back to old, yes. But if they're able to go to him, and then he's able to give up those. I'm not saying necessarily he's a primary post, but how they've been doing with Vic Manuel. You know, if he's able to get his numbers. Remember in game number 3, when people were asking, okay, who's going to be the best player of the conference? What did Junmar do? 27 and 27. Expect that type of an effort for Junmar. Remember, he hasn't won in 2-3 years. He's the best player of the conference, averaging a double-double. He needs to be able to get a performance that is something for the books.
Well, we are excited to watch that tomorrow, and obviously yan ang ating mga abangan na factors. I want to jump into a couple of topics lang here. First of all, Yeng Guiao, you know, I talked to him this morning, and he has said that it was a career decision really for him. How big of a loss is Yeng Guiao para sa NLEX, Carlo?
It's a big loss because if you see the teams na binubuo ni Coach Yeng, it's very difficult for someone else to pick it up and coach it to success. Diba? Nakita natin with Rainer Shine, even if Coach Kaloy has been his assistant for the longest time, nahirapan sila to get the same success as they did. So it will look like a rebuild, I think, for NLEX dahil hahanapin mo diba? First, you have to look for a head coach who could replace him. Second, can the coach work with the pieces that are there? Third, what will be the system? Lalayo mo ba dun sa ginagawa ni Coach Yeng? Because that's what he built the team for. So I think the upcoming Commissioner's Cup will be a very, very challenging for the NLEX Road Warriors.
Well, another departure, of course, in Matthew Wright, Dominic. Nawala na si Matthew Wright sa Phoenix. Obviously, that is a huge loss. But ang tanong ko dito is, is free agency hurting the PBA?
I honestly think because it's new, it's still really something that that before it was somewhat of a free agency, right? Now it's really free agency. I think this is something that the PBA and everybody else will have to learn. You have to remember also that there's because of globalization, there's a lot more competition outside.
Yeah.
Before, right, we were only worried about the PBA is the number 1 league in Asia, but now you have the Japan League, you have the Korean Basketball League, Taiwan League. So there's a lot of competition. I think the stakeholders really need to figure out, okay, what are we looking at? What is our goal? Do we want the players to be able to go out? Do we want it to be more of a friendly type of a relationship? Or do we want to be able to say, you know what, we're going to protect our turf? That's what we need to figure out. To be able to prepare and see, okay, what type of a league moving forward are we going to be? Because of the competition, now this free agency, it becomes, let's be candid, a lot of it has to do with how much money is being offered.
Yeah.
And what the situation is. And it's really hard to blame the players because, as a basketball player, your window to be able to get these big contracts is not very big.
Yeah.
And when it's there, you want to make a jump at it, whether it's a professional athlete or even, let's look at the professional level. When you're recruited by a multinational to go abroad, that is something that is applauded.
Yeah.
But obviously, for us here in the PBA, the local league, it hurts because you lose that talent.
Very good point. I think that's a very great point to stress na iba syempre professional, this is still their job and they have to protect their future. And I said, the PBA will go on. It is not built on one player alone. Talking about the PBA, the next conference is a few weeks away and we're already hearing all of these imports coming in. Carlo, sino ang interesting import that you are looking forward to covering and even watching?
Oh, lots of really good talent. Justin Brownlee, of course, when he's there, you have to pay attention to Justin Brownlee. Doesn't matter if it's the Commissioner's Cup or the Governor's Cup kasi nag-best import na siya in both. But I'm looking forward to seeing yung import nitong San Miguel beer, no? Former lottery draft pick and Lebanese naturalized player. So he can be someone will actually compete against dun sa last window of the Asian qualifiers. Itong si Robinson. Really looking forward to seeing how he meshes with the already stacked team of SMB.
Dom, ESL team, Bay Area Dragons are also going to be playing. And of course, maraming NBA caliber imports. Who are you looking forward to seeing here?
I think, I'm excited for everyone. Why? Because, leading up to the World Cup also, this kind of gives you a taste of what's out there, but in a local flavor, right? That it's here. So I'm very, very excited for that because it really opens the eyes of everybody. You're not just watching it on TV or on your screen or your laptop, but you're able to see this live. So I think, this is something that is good for everybody to see that, this is what is happening now. You don't just hear it, you don't just read it on social media, but you'll see it with your eyes.
Oh, well, it'll be exciting the next few weeks, the next few months, all the way to the World Cup. Basketball all the way, ika nga eh. Kahit na ano sabihin talagang wala tayong magagawa, it still remains the most popular sport in the country. Gentlemen, again, maraming salamat sa oras at panahon na binigay niyo sa amin ngayon. Good luck in the finals tomorrow. Are you both covering?
I'm covering for
Carlo
PBA.
is.
Carlo, okay. Carlo, batiin mo kami ni Dom bukas.
Will do.
Maraming salamat, Carlo and Dominic.
Thank you.
Mga kaibigan, Dominic Uy and Carlo Pamintuan, ang ating pong mga paboritong broadcasters ng PBA. Alright, before we take a break, bisitahin muna natin at silipin natin ang ating pop culture at viral videos sa mundo ng palakasan sa ating Stop and Pop.
Power and Play with Kom Noli Eala.
Ang title ng ating video ngayong linggo ay Stardom Young, simulan ng maaga, ika nga sa Tagalog, di ba? Well, panoorin niyo po itong batang ito na 7 taong anyos pa lamang, 7 years old. Pero kung gumalaw, malapro. Parang si Manny Pacquiao. Ha? Kakaibang bilis, precision at hand-eye coordination ang ipinamamalas niya sa murang edad. Sa tuloy-tuloy na training at tamang guidance ay malamang ay siya ay pwedeng lumaban at lumaking isang kampiyon balang araw. Talagang Stardom Young. Keep on fighting. That's the way to go. At yan din po ang ating Stop and Pop moment. Alright, at mga kaibigan, when we come back, Tim Cone will be in the house live. Ito po ang Power and Play. Hatid sa inyo ng Cherry Loom, Cherry Tigo, Chooks to Go at ng True Religion.
I dare to dream big. To be a voice of my generation. To inspire resilience in the face of roadblocks. And in sharing my stories, I let others share in my passion.
Follow Kai's stories on Twitter and share yours. With Smart Double Giga Stories. Share 2 times the passion with 2 gigabytes for Twitter and more. Guaranteed every day. Plus data for all sites.
Simple. Smart ako.
Alex, are you ready to have some fun on your first driving lesson?
Nag-uumapaw sa real chicken juice na swak sa panlasa ng buong pamilya. Available in sweet roast, pepper roast, at harissa roast variants. Chooks to go. Masarap kahit walang sauce. Tawag na sa Chooks to Go Delivery Hotline 8687-1010 o online sa chookstogodelivery.com or via GrabFood at Foodpanda.
Kailangan ko na naman palitan ng bubong ko, pare. Mag-iisang taong pa lang yan. May tulo na kagad.
Ay, bossing! Baka naman kasi hindi matibay yung ginamit nyo. Dapat ang gamitin mo ay Cherry Loom, ang yerong aluminum. Basta yero, Cherry Loom. Tibay protektado sa pangmatagalang yero.
Singgaling na, singkulit pa, Singgaling Kids! Tuwing Sabado, 6 p.m. sa TV5!
Mukhang kailangan ko na naman palitan ng bubong ko, pare. Mag-iisang taong pa lang yan. May tulo na kagad.
Ay, bossing! Baka naman kasi hindi matibay yung ginamit nyo. Dapat ang gamitin mo ay Cherry Loom, ang yerong aluminum. Basta yero, Cherry Loom. Tibay protektado sa pangmatagalang yero.
Prepare your heart for an all-out clash as the Premier Volleyball League Invitational Conference. Games every Tuesdays, 2:30 p.m. and 5:30 p.m. Thursdays and Saturdays, 2:30 p.m. and 9:30 p.m. on One Sports.
Mukhang kailangan ko na naman palitan ng bubong ko, pare. Mag-iisang taong pa lang yan. May tulo na kagad.
Ay, bossing! Baka naman kasi hindi matibay yung ginamit nyo. Dapat ang gamitin mo ay Cherry Loom, ang yerong aluminum. Basta yero, Cherry Loom. Tibay protektado sa pangmatagalang yero.
Broadcasting live from TV5 Media Center. 25,000 watts ng balita, impormasyon, serbisyo. DWFM Radyo 5 92.3 News FM
Power and Play. Team na sa Radyo 5 92.3 News FM.
Konting balita lamang po mula sa NBA. Binitawan na ng Utah Jazz si superstar guard Donovan Mitchell. Pinadala ng Jazz si Mitchell sa Cleveland Cavaliers. Kapalit ni Spider Mitchell, sina Colin Sexton, Lauri Markkanen at si Ochai Agbaji, mga tatlong first round pick. Isa pang balita, si EJ Obiena, panayang hakot po ng medalya. Nanalo siya muli sa Germany. At siya po ay nakatalon ng 5.86 meter jump. Congratulations, EJ! Tuloy-tuloy lamang ang iyong pag-improve sana at hanggang sa Paris Olympics. Alright, before we present to you our next guest, I'd like to thank, of course, all of our sponsors who continue to support Power and Play. Unahin ko po, of course, Cherry Loom, ang yerong may aluminum sa ganitong pabago-bago ang panahon, mga kapatid. Sobrang init tapos biglang uulan, kailangan natin ng matibay at protektadong bubong. Dapat ay bubong na may aluminum. Kapag may aluminum, tsak na pang matagalan. At isa lang ang alam kong dekalidad na yerong may aluminum, yan ang Cherry Loom. Tibay protektado sa pang matagalang yero. Cherry Loom, ang yerong may aluminum.
Thank you!
Cherry Tiggo, how neat it is to have a 7-seater SUV that has a powerful engine, world-class safety standards, and the latest tech features. Cherry Tiggo 8 Pro is equipped with a 1.6 turbocharged gasoline direct injection engine, an advanced driver assistance system, and 12 other safety features, including rear cross traffic assist, forward collision warning, and integrated cruise assist. The flagship Tiggo 8 Pro allows you more control of the wheel. What's great is you can also join the green revolution with Cherry Tiggo 8 Pro plug-in hybrid electric vehicle or PHEV. So book a test drive now via www.cherryauto.ph or visit a Cherry dealership near you.
Thank you!
Chooks to go ang nag-iisang manok ng bayan. Subukan ang kanilang pinakabagong oven-roasted chicken na mas pinasarap dahil sa nag-uumapaw na flavorful chicken juice. At subukan din niyo po ang Chooks, their first dine-in restaurant sa Lipa, Batangas. Chooks to go ang nag-iisang manok ng bayan.
Thank you!
True religion is in the Philippines, where passion meets power. Experience it firsthand. For your best style choices, visit True Religion at Conrad S. Maison, Mall of Asia Complex, Resorts World Manila, and at the Hacienda Designer Outlet in Silang, Cavite. True Religion, where passion meets power.
Thank you!
Elms Seafood Paluto, the latest offering of the Elms Resto Bar Group located at Unit 2 ground floor, Calle Bistro, Ever Commonwealth, Quezon City. Enjoy their delectable seafood menu in a relaxed casual dining atmosphere for your salo-salo seafood meal. Elms Seafood Paluto.
Thank you!
Skin, your face and body anti-aging center. With branches at Alabang Town Center in Green Hills, San Juan. For your skin assessment and treatment, call 0917-890-1640 or 0977-809-8886.
Thank you!
ASEA Subic Beach Resort. Experience the getaway that you deserve and dive into limitless happenings, rejuvenating experiences, and gastronomic adventures. ASEA Subic Beach Resort.
Thank you!
And of course, Power and Play is powered by Smart. Live Smart!
Thank you!
Alright mga kaibigan, right now we have with us no other than Barangay Ginebra Head Coach Tim Cone. Good morning, Coach Tim!
Good morning. Hey, it's great to be on your show again. It's been a while. So that means something must be happening, and that means we're getting close to a new conference. So happy to be here.
I'm so happy to have you. It's been a while. First things first, I was watching the Saudi game, Gilas, and I want to know, why weren't you there? I mean, let's just set the record straight here. Were you sick? Was there something going on? Did you have a previous commitment? Why were you not in the Saudi game?
Well, first of all, even before that, let me congratulate you on your new posting. I tell you.
Thank you.
I just feel like, that you're just what the doctor ordered for what we need here. And so I'm just so pleased and happy that you've got that position, and really looking forward to seeing you grow in that position over the next few years. So awesome.
Thanks.
As for the Saudi Arabia game, yes. I picked up COVID in Lebanon. When I arrived, it hit me hard, and I was out for a couple of days. But I've since recovered, and I'm fine, and I'm ready to go. It was my first time to get COVID, and hopefully it's my last. I don't want to go through that again.
I'm not going to ask you about that experience, but I will ask you though about your experience handling the Gilas squad, and especially having a squad with Jordan Clarkson. How was that, Tim?
Well, first of all, JC, as he likes to be called, Jordan Clarkson, JC, he came in so seamlessly. No errors, no NBA errors. He just a really good guy. He worked from the first moment he was here. He was just a joy to coach, a joy to be around. And the people he brought were great people as well. So you could tell from them that he was a good guy. You always have this kind of trepidation when the NBA guys walk in because, they think they know more than anybody else. But he came in really humble and just really fit in. And it was a lot of fun to have him around. And he's just truly a great player.
Mm-hmm.
He reads the game really well. I thought the system that Chut brought in, Coach Chut brought in, the dribble drive motion, we played it at a very, very basic level, obviously, because, we only had a couple of practices with Jordan, and we had like 3 practices with Kai. And even like Japeth came the last couple of days. We didn't think he was going to join. And Scotty was late. There was a couple of guys who were late. So we had very limited time. So the system that Chut brought in was perfect for the skills of who we had and who Jordan wanted to bring to the game, how JC was playing. So, obviously he wasn't coached at the talk and text level that you saw last night or the last few nights in the finals, because you have to learn and grow. It's like when I coached the Southeast Asian games. We just barely touched on some of the things that we do as an offense in terms of my system, because we only had a couple of weeks to get prepared. You don't run it at a grand slam level, so you just have to kind of do it. So what I'm trying to say is that system that Coach Chuck brought, I felt was perfect for JC's game. And it's guard oriented. You have your Jason Castros, your Mikey Williams, and for us it was JC Williams. So I thought all of it kind of came together very well for us, and it showed in the Saudi game. And believe it or not, it showed in the Lebanon game. But hey, that I don't think people realize that Lebanon has won 22 of their last 24 international games. And they lost to Australia. One of those losses was to Australia by 2 points just recently. So, and then we played them in Lebanon, and it was crazy in Lebanon. It was like a reverse Ginebra crowd.
Right.
They were nuts, and it was a tough place to play. And I thought we played really well, and I thought we defended Iraqi really well, considering we only had a few practices to prepare. And so I was very proud and pleased, and I wasn't surprised at all by how we played against Saudi Arabia.
What were the positives from this fourth window, Tim? Obviously, you haven't had, as you said, you weren't given enough time. I don't think you even played a tune-up game, did you? And of course, no tune-up games. So, but given that, and yet we were very competitive. We had a chance to win against Lebanon. What were the positives, given all of the frustrations in the Southeast Asian Games and in the FIBA Asia Cup? What do you think were the learnings here?
Well, first let me say that, right after the game, immediately after the Lebanon game, after Coach Chuck talked to the team, and, everybody was kind of getting their stuff to leave together, and I just kind of stopped everybody for a moment. I said, hey, guys, if you can stay together, if this team can stay together as a group and grow a little bit and give ourselves a chance to grow, then I think we can become the dominating team in Asia. There's just no doubt in my mind that we can dominate Asia with this team, as long as we can stay intact and continue to grow. Of course, that's always the question for us. Can we, stay intact and continue to grow as a group? Because we're always making changes here and there and here. New coaches, new systems, new whatever. And I've always felt like, it really doesn't matter who coaches. I mean, it could be, Sonny Jaworski, through the years, Norman, Yeng, Tab, Chut, myself, John Chico, any of those guys. It's not about who's coaching. It's about keeping that coach there for a period of time so that the system, like I just got through saying earlier, can grow and get to a higher level. It's just like when we come in, we're playing everything at such a small level because everything's so new and it never gets a chance to grow.
Right.
And I thought we grew a lot from that
limited time
Lebanon game into the Saudi Arabia game. We jumped to a whole new level. And I think the thing that impresses me the most about this team that was put together this time, number one, it's athleticism, from point guard to big man. It's a team of athletes. They have really good size at the point guard position in terms of Scotty and Chris Newsom. Those guys can defend up and play. A lot of times, and these guys have been great players. Jimmy Alapag was a great player. LA was a great player. These guys are really great players, but they're undersized at that position. Scotty and Chris bring a different kind of level to the team in terms of what they can do defensively. And that's really more their role. They're not there to score. They got JC next to them. They got to figure out a way to get the ball to JC, and then they got to go out and defend for JC. And so I thought that was really well put together. I thought Chuck did a really good job putting that part together. And then, the presence of Kai protecting the rim. There's a lot of debate on whether Kai can make the NBA. I know there's a big debate in the NBA about that. I was there during the summer league, and there was a lot of talk about him. And but I don't think there's absolutely any question about him being here in Asia. I mean, he is a dominating force in Asia and will continue to be over the next several years. He will dominate Asia for quite a while, quite a long time, with his ability to protect the rim. His instincts defensively are off the charts for a big man like him. And I think that his offense will continue to grow and grow and grow as he gets older and as he fills out his body. But of all the players that I've coached against, the guy he reminds me the most of is at this level, at this point. And I think he'll grow beyond this. But I don't know if everybody remembers him, but he's Wang Zhuzhu of China. And Wang Zhuzhu was a beast at in the Asian level when we were playing against him. Lefty, could shoot outside, 7'1", 7'2", could block shots, run the floor. He was an absolute beast. And Kai, I think, is like him. I think a little bit better than Wang Zhuzhu, but has a lot more room to grow. So I think there's just so many positives about this team. I love the young guys in terms of Calvin and Jamie and I'm missing guys. I can't think of them right off the bat. But the athleticism that we have in terms of the youth on that team is really exciting.
Coming from you and analyzing Kai's game, obviously you've seen many players, and it's really nice to hear that obviously Kai will be a mainstay in the national team for a very, very long time. But the question is here, you've been asked this, and I want to ask you again. You've seen this team. Some players have said that this team with Jordan, with JC and Kai and Dwight Ramos and Japet and is going to do something special in the World Cup. Are there particular areas in that team that can be filled up by players who are not yet there, and who may this be, Tim?
Well, I think the obvious one is obviously Jumar. Jumar would have been on that team, hands down. And that would have given us a definite post presence that we could have gone to. Coach Chuck talked about him a lot, about what we could have done with him in terms of. I don't think there was anybody on the Lebanese team that could have handled Jumar down low, and whether Jumar can dominate at a like against a Serbian team or a U.S. team, that's another whole question, but. Again, at the Asian level, playing against Lebanon, I think he would have dominated there. It would have been a time where, every once in a while we could have just dumped the ball down into him, spread the floor, and let him go to work and let him find the shooters as he does with San Miguel. No doubt. I think, adding a shooter or two like Matthew Wright would be ideal if that's possible. We asked Matthew if he could come and play with us. He couldn't make it at this time. But he's obviously said he's available for other ones. Getting another shooter on the floor would be nice. And I think that this is not a revolving door in terms of this team, but it's evolving door. The team will evolve as it starts to grow, and you might change a piece here or there, and we've made that very clear. Coach Choda's made that very clear to the team, that there might be a piece here or there that might be, interchangeable. And you might bring a couple, 2 or 3 different guys to this window as opposed to the next window as you try to consolidate the team that you want to have going into the World Cup. But the bottom line is that there's a core there that is going to be, I think, unchangeable. That will allow that core to grow over this next year. And I think that those guys will be recognizable. I think that they'll be on call. And, as soon as we say, hey, we need these guys, I think, the PBA and the powers that be will snap their fingers and allow these guys to be there for us.
But
now, whether JC and Kai can be at every window because we don't have control over their leagues, JC probably will not be able to. So we'll find a naturalized player to take his place.
Well, we know what's at stake in the World Cup. It's not only the World Cup, but the highest placed Asian team will make the Paris Olympics. And as you said, we have a team that's special. It's probably a team that could compete against the best in Asia. You're going to be given 3 months to practice just before the World Cup. Do you think that is enough? That is more than enough? Is that going to be something that something different will be done during that 3-month window? What are your thoughts about that, Coach?
It's so far away that we haven't really, in terms of the coaching staff, we haven't spoken. I know Coach Chod has spoken to the SPP about it, and he's talking to the PBA about it, and obviously the PBA has given that 3-month window, and I know they have some plans. But it hasn't really been shared amongst the coaching staff at this point. We were just more locked into the now. What can we do right now? But those plans are being set up. I know that Al Francis Chua is a part of that. I know that Al Panlilio is a part of that. So that's all being formed at the moment.
Okay.
Like I said, I'm not really privy to that at this point, but I know that they've been talking about it. So there's a lot of plans in the making.
All right.
I don't know if they've actually been done in concrete yet.
All right.
However, again, I think the key is not just those 3 months, but what we can do before those 3 months, and that's the next 2 windows. The opportunities to work with a team. I know there's talk about doing Monday practices with the core group, and that would help a bit. I think a team, before they can become really good and verge on greatness, they have to fail and lose a few times. They have to go through that before they can understand how to play at a really high level, what it will take as a group to play at a high level.
Right.
So anytime we can go out and play and play someone really good and tough is going to teach us something about ourselves.
Okay.
And you don't want to have to learn that when you get to the World Cup. You got to know that before you get to the World Cup. So hopefully we'll have opportunities to come together as a group and play at any time that we can. But every moment we do is going to be a growth experience for us.
I have a few minutes, and obviously, I want to jump into Ginebra. The conference is coming up. I mean, the third conference, or rather, the second conference is coming up. Tim, how is Ginebra? And how are the boys? Are you already starting practices? Are you? And obviously, how is the situation in terms of their health and condition?
We seem to be, doing well. We're on target. Justin is here, and we're back at practice. And we're tweaking things as we always do. We always go into a new conference, trying to tweak here and there, trying to find ways to improve our defense and get a little bit more flow offensively. Justin obviously changes the way we play because he does so many things, and so it opens up a lot of our offense that does not necessarily get opened up during the All Filipino. Scotty and Japeth have been away for the moment, taking a break from the national team. They're expected to start on Monday, we just feel like anytime you can put a Justin Brownlee with us, we're a team to reckon with.
Well,
and the only guy that we're really waiting on at this point is Jeremiah Gray.
Is he going to play?
No, he probably won't be available till maybe around mid-October.
Okay.
Or maybe at the earliest would be mid-October. Stanley Pringle looks better, much better than he did last conference. He looks a lot more healthy, moving better, and so those things are all great for us. We struggled with Stanley's health this last conference. Now we're going to be a conference away from that surgery, so hopefully he'll come back a little bit stronger. And Stanley and Justin and maybe You bring Jeremiah Gray in at some point.
Right.
And of course, Christian and Japeth, LA.
Okay.
And of course, our main mover, Scotty. You get that group together, I think we can be a team to reckon with.
This is a 6-10 conference import conference, and some very big names are coming over. Earl Clark, Thomas Robinson, the Oliver, the guy who's coming in for Talk and Text as well. Are you concerned that Justin Brownlee is smaller than the rest of the field, and is that going to be a factor at all?
Well, the way we look at it is that we've got two big guys in terms of Japeth and Christian, and if we brought in a big import that was more of an inside player, then he'd have to share time with Christian and Japeth. And so you're taking one or two of your best players off the floor to bring in a really good player, but you're taking your two best players. By bringing in Justin, even though he's only 6'7" or 6'6", I guess listed 6'5", he is still a dynamic rebounder, a dynamic defender, dynamic offensive guy. We all know that.
Oh, we know that.
It allows him to play alongside Japeth and Christian, so we get to keep those guys, two of our best players, on the floor at the same time. So it really makes more sense to bring in a smaller guy who will fit with Christian and Japeth than it is to bring in a big guy who will sit Christian and Japeth down on the bench.
Yeah.
And of course, again, Justin is Justin. He's already won a Best Player of the Award in the 6-10 conference. He's won a championship in the 6-10 conference, and so why make it? It ain't broke.
Exactly. All right. Before I let you go, just one final question. Your thoughts about Game 7 tomorrow?
I'm scheduled to do the game tomorrow.
Wow.
So,
that'll be fun.
So we'll see.
What do you think is going to be key here, Tim? Very quickly for both teams.
Well, San Miguel, very quickly, San Miguel shot lights out last game, but the problem is you can't rely on that kind of shooting every game in, game out, game in. So, Jumar didn't have a big game. I expect a big game from him tomorrow. I think that they'll go to him hard and early, and they'll have to be very careful that they come in and start, throwing up a lot of threes, thinking they're all going to go in again. They're going to have to get back to basics in a Game 7 and play well.
Right.
Talk and text, Jason Castro. If Jason can play, then they've got a really good shot. If Jason doesn't, that team is, they've got Mikey Williams, and he's special, no doubt about it. Pogoy is just, playing out of his mind as he usually does in the playoffs. But that team is really run by Jason Castro. And unless you can get a 90% Jason Castro out on the floor, I think San Miguel comes in as heavy favorites.
All right.
But I think both coaches are coaching a wonderful series.
Yeah.
They're making great adjustments. They're getting their teams to fight back from deficits. It's been a great series so far, and I expect a great Game 7.
And I expect a great broadcast tomorrow. Obviously, I will be watching you, and again, it's gonna be fun hearing you once again behind the mic. Tim, thank you so much for your time. Good luck to Ginebra. Good luck to Gilas, and I hope to see you sometime just to have a little catch-up chat very soon.
I miss you behind the mic, by the way.
Well, that won't happen in a while. Thanks.
Yeah, I know. You're too busy now.
No. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Tim.
Thank you.
Mga kaibigan, the winningest coach in PBA history, Coach Tim Cone, sa Power and Play. And I got a lot of his thoughts on Gilas as well as his own team. Alright, bago po natin ipasok ang ating huling panauhin ngayong araw pong ito, magbalik tanaw lamang tayo sa ating This Week in Sports History.
Power and Play with Kom Noli Eala.
August 29 or 2009 or 13 years ago, nag-debut si Cristiano Ronaldo para sa giant Spanish club na Real Madrid. Nakagol sa penalty kick si CR7 para sa Los Blancos na para manalo kontra Deportivo 3-2. World record transfer fee noong mga panahon na yon ang 94 million euro na bayad para sa Portuguese superstar. Mula sa kanyang debut game, tumagal ng halos isang dekada si Ronaldo sa Real Madrid. Meron siyang 450 goals sa Spanish club sa loob ng 438 appearances. Cristiano Ronaldo debuts for Real Madrid this week in sports history. Talking about Europe, well, ang ating pong next guest is from that place. We caught up with him in Serbia, his hometown. And of course, ang kwento tungkol sa bakit siya umalis sa Gilas Pilpinas. Let's now feature in our In the Spotlight.
Power and Play with Kom Noli Eala.
Walang iba kung hindi ang dating consultant ng Gilas Pilpinas, Coach Nenad Vucinic.
What a great honor and pleasure to have with us, Coach Nenad Vucinic. Coach, thank you so much for joining us once again on Power and Play.
It's good to be back with Filipino people, at least long distance, but it's still good.
Yes, absolutely. Well, talking about long distance, you are back in Serbia. Are you there for a visit? Are you just taking a break, or is this part of your new job or new posting?
No, I'm just back to see my family, my wife and my daughter, and also I went to Montenegro, which is very close, and saw my sister and my mother. So it's good to be back. It's not a part of the job. It's just a holiday, and expecting that hopefully I will find something very soon to go to new work.
Well, before I ask you about work and past work, how relieving is it to be away from all of that craziness that happened just before you left, Coach? I'm sure you guys, you're not used to this. I know that. I've talked to a lot of international coaches, European coaches, and you guys are very professional. How good is it just to be away from all of that?
Well, look, there is certainly a little bit too much drama for my liking. I understand the passion of the fans and the people about basketball, but every issue seems to be a very big issue, and it shouldn't be that way. So it is a bit of a relief, but obviously, I have all the really good memories, going back from Philippines anywhere, and hope to be back in the future, maybe in some different role.
That sounds really good. I hate to to bring back all of these, but I want to get it straight from the horse's mouth, as they say. The SBP has said that, and let me just get it straight, let your contract expire and you decided to leave because of quote-unquote opportunities that you want to explore. There are reports, however, that have said that you felt you were not being involved or underutilized. So again, can I just get that straight, just to set the record straight? What is the real score? Why did you leave the Philippines, Coach Nenad?
Look, the treatment from SBP and everybody involved with SBP has been very great. Very good. There is no question about me not being happy for not being utilized or anything like that. So those are just rumors. I have been treated very well. My contract has expired at the end of August. We had an option to go for next season as well for 8 months, because this contract was for 8 months. But it was my decision to choose to look at other possibilities.
Well, that I guess is the thing that begs the question. You have a contract, as you said, that is 8 months. You decided to end it on the 6th month. And so, people are wondering what was the real reason for that. And considering that, obviously, you came here in February, and, many people in the basketball community, particularly in the SBP, were of high praises about you, that you would be a big help to the national program. So, cutting it abruptly 2 months before the expiration seemed a little surprising. Why so, Coach Nenad?
Well, first, it wasn't cut 2 months early. It was the contract for this season has expired end of August, we had an option of going for another 8 months from January 2023 for the World Cup. But going step back, I have been head coach for 32 years, and the reason why I decided to accept this offer from my ex-mentor and a very good friend, Ted Baldwin, who was at the time the director of national program of the coaching, was because I felt, because we have worked together and done some great things, that I was happy to be in this consulting role and working with him for the national team for the World Cup. Happened what happened. He wasn't part of the national program. He wasn't director anymore. And I really, to be honest, and I said to everybody in SBP as well that it's fine. Those things happen, and I will leave as well because I'm his guy that brought me over. But it was his insistence that I stay. He really honestly wanted me to stay with the program to help the program in the future. I was really reluctant, but after talking to Coach Schott, who was his replacement, and Manager Butch, for example, I've decided to have a go, and I really enjoyed my time. I spent a great 6 months. I stepped in for Coach Schott a couple of times because he couldn't go because of the commitments in PBA, and I enjoyed that as well. I enjoyed working with players, and this didn't come abruptly. It was about a month ago when I advised SBP that I will be looking to go elsewhere, and they really tried to keep me. So there was no hard feelings between us at all. The fact, that I wasn't working with Coach Ted anymore, it was initially my decision to leave, but that wasn't, the part of this final decision, to go and look for something else.
All right. Well, so clearly, there was a desire to push forward with another contract, but it was your decision, partly because why you came over was no longer there, and obviously there are other opportunities for you. So let's make that very clear again. You are in your time with the SBP. How did you feel about your stay, and were you satisfied with the kind of job that was given you?
Yes, I was satisfied. Obviously the preparations were always limited. I was, thrown a little bit, at the deep end, to go to New Zealand to face their best team. But it was, they gave me a choice, and asked me would I do it, and I did. And I did do it, and I don't regret it. And I had a really great time coaching those young guys in games against Korea, where they played really well. We had a tough night, against New Zealand in Auckland, but that was expected, with the strength of the team and the limited preparation we had. But I had no regrets at all staying. I had no regrets taking, that role. As a consultant, as assistant coach, or whatever you're going to call it, or as a head coach in that short period of time. But with all the drama that was happening, I thought it was best for everybody that I just quietly slip out, and I already have got some other offers that where I can go, and I thought that it was best for everybody that to calm things down and let Coach Schott work, in his piece, with the team for the remainder of this World Cup campaign.
All right. How was your stint? Of course, you were also a consultant for Meralco, and you went all the way to the Game 7 of the semifinals of this particular conference. How was that stint for you as well?
I already covered, with Gilas, how it was, and I was happy, to be part of, there are some really great young people there, good players as well, but really great. They have passion for the game, and I really enjoy that. I enjoyed Manila with all the traffic and chaos, but I really enjoyed being in a big city. It's a vibrant city, and there's everything there for you to live. I lived in a nice area as well. Meralco is another chapter, another sort of a separate story, and I really want to emphasize that because came out of nowhere, where bosses have asked me if I can help there as well. It wasn't my plan, and I was again reluctant a little bit because of the time and also coming into a situation like that. But after talking with Coach Norman, I was straight up with him. That I really want to help, and if he doesn't want me there, that he should tell me, and I will refuse the job. But now he was really open, and he was. We had a really great relationship with him and with the other coaches as well. And when he had to, unfortunately, attend to his mother that recently passed away. I tried to, step up a little bit for him and help Coach Luigi, and it was really great time. I really had a great time, a lot of time for those players. I think they're punching way above their weight, taking San Miguel to Game 7. I think we could have even won that game, if you played a little bit better. And I only have fond memories, especially, with Meralco, and, hope to be back in the future there one day.
Well, you had stamped your imprint, obviously, not only with Gilas, but also in the PBA. And I think many people appreciate your quiet demeanor, yet very effective one for the team. Your involvement with Gilas was with the Windows, obviously, and of course with the FIBA Asia Cup. Coach Nenad, what is your analysis of the program? Utilizing this pool of young players and trying to develop them. Do you think that this was a right move in creating a sustainable program for the Philippines?
Being a host, takes a lot more responsibility and a lot more pressure. It's probably a one-off thing in the lifetime, although Philippines had World Cup back in 78, I think. But it's very rare that in one lifetime you get 2 World Cups at home for the game that is most popular in the country. So it's added responsibility, added pressure. But there is no consistency in a way that you can always get the same players, that you can always have preparation. But every other country in the world is in the same books. If you have a league running, you cannot get players from there. If you have a PBA, for example, if you have UAP running, you cannot get players from there. You can't get players from overseas, and there's a lot more now overseas players that are in a contention for Gilas. So it's messy, but it's not messy due to bad management. It's just messy because just the way it is. And I think all these difficult times now that we had in the last 6 months will only be a benefit. We had to throw some young guys into major roles, guys like Carl Tamayo, Gio Chu, Kevin Kimbao. We had to throw them, to be leaders of the team against nations like Korea and New Zealand. So I think eventually there will be benefit in that. But you have to face it that there are some very, very great great players in playing overseas and playing in PBA. So for July has to be the best team that plays that has 3 months preparation for the World Cup. So we're hoping. I'm really hoping that there will be a really nice team that will play. And this last window has shown that if you can compete in Beirut against Lebanon, it's very, very positive thing. And that's probably still not the strongest team we can put on.
No, exactly. Well, talking about strength, the entry of Kai Soto, of Jordan Clarkson, of several PBA players into Gilas, obviously was a big boost. Do you think that with the limited time we have left, it is now inevitable that we scrap the developmental side of the Gilas program and really concentrate just bringing in the most talented players from the country?
Well, the truth is that you cannot do it because in November and February windows, I mean, the chance of getting PBA players is going to be very slim. So it's going to be tough. And again, you'll be playing tough teams. You'll be playing Lebanon at home. You'll be playing Jordan away. Saudi away as well. Those are going to be tough games, and you can expect losing there. But the main goal should be that comes June next year, the 3 months preparation, and as I understand, the PBA will come to the party with that and not playing those periods. In that period, I think that's more than enough time. 3 months, nobody's
Really?
going to have that much time. No country in the world. So 3 months preparation. If you have a good preparation, good trainings, good games that you will play, preparation games, you can get the best out of the team.
All right. Looking at the current team that we had, and you mentioned the game against Lebanon, the game obviously against Saudi Arabia, which we won handily. What are your thoughts about this team now? Where have we improved? And obviously, what else do you think does this team need to be competitive?
Look, it was a little bit messy, obviously, with changes of the head coach. We had to run some different things, because I wasn't really familiar that much with a system that Coach Chop was running. So it was a little bit messy, but the development of the players, I think it did happen in the last 6 months. What now? Now is really the time to focus. Again, when I say now, I mean, from June next year, because as I said, November and February is going to be very difficult to do anything. It's important now that the team does see, and that all the players that want to play are available, and then to have maybe a larger squad going, because you're going to have injuries during those 3 months, maybe a squad of 16 to 20 players, the best players you can get, and make sure that they're always together for those 3 months, maybe small breaks here and there, but to have that consistency, because if you keep changing the players, then it's not going to be good for anybody.
We know what's at stake in the World Cup next year. Realistically, obviously, it's going to be very difficult for us even to break into the top 8. But there is a chance as a home team. But the stakes include making it to the Paris Olympics as the best Asian team. Is that something that you think is? We have a shot, because the Asian region is wide open if you take out Australia, of course, which will qualify for the Oceania division. So, do you think that the Philippines has a shot at making the Paris Olympics?
Well, I'll be honest. I think that Philippines have got talent. I think that Philippines have got a great home court. And I think that the team will play extremely motivated. To finish in front of, for example, Australia, who will have their best players and who was top 4.
Top 3, actually, even in the Olympics.
Would be a huge surprise. But when I say it's a surprise, it can be done. but it's going to require unbelievable performances. Getting out of the section, it's not going to be easy, but I think Philippines can do that. Then when it comes to the knockout phase, then, you need to have a little bit of luck on the night, to beat the teams, because I'm not 100% sure about the system. Is it the top 16 go into a knockout phase or top 8?
Right,
I'm not really sure, but I believe it would be top 16 maybe to go
top 16, yes,
into knockout phase. So once you get to top 16, in that 8 final, you're going to play against a very good team. But in a one-off game, can happen. And if you make it top 8, I think then you have a good chance to be the top team.
Well, again, when we talk about the best Asian team, that excludes Australia because they will not be part of that category. We're really going up against China, Lebanon, Jordan, Iran, and maybe Japan. Korea is not even qualified. So
see, I wasn't even informed well.
Do you think that's more realistic? No.
I didn't realize that it's actually that they're going to split Australia and Asia. If that's the case, then it's a realistic and it's something that needs to be done. Needs to be done really with all the resources and all the time that we have, and I believe it will be done.
What is the impact of Jordan Clarkson to this team, Coach?
I mean, high-level player. When you bring a high-level, obviously, it's always with Philippines, with Gilas, you always think you need height. You need a big guy because, Junmar and Japeth, are not young guys anymore and so on. But, if you bring a quality player like that, and I don't mean only quality as what he does on the court, from what I see and from what I hear, he really feels Gilas as his team. And that's really so valuable. And he's a great player. No one can question that. And I don't think we can probably get a better level player at the big guy spot. So I think it's very realistic. That he should be that guy. I think we should have a plan B. In case, hopefully not, right. He gets injured or whatever happens, or if all the big guys, you have to think about that because it's a one-off thing and it's a 3 months preparation and injuries do happen. So I think, we need to really cover all the bases that we make sure that there is...
Yan po mga kaibigan, si Coach Nenad Vucinic ang ating interview with him a couple of nights ago. And the last question there really was, saan ka papunta? And he said, he might land. Hindi na pa niya pwede daw i-announce, but he might be going to Japan for a consultancy muna. So again, we thank Coach Nenad for his time and sa kanyang very candid na mga sagot sa ating mga katanungan. Alright, bago po tayo magtapos, gusto ko lang po i-announce lahat ng mga nanalo doon sa Joyride Top Up promo dito po sa Power and Play. Yung Joyride winners ng 1,000 e-wallet credits. Si Adriel Tomas, ang isa po nating nanalo. Si Christine Nicole Timwat. Lizel Magpayo. Eliza Isabel Diamson at si Marlon Novilla. Congratulations sa inyong lahat. 1,000 pesos na e-wallet credits mula sa Joyride Super App para sa mga delivery, sa motorcycle taxi na biyahe at sa Joyride card. Maraming salamat muli sa Joyride. Oh, by the way, breaking news lamang, EJ Obiena nanalo laban sa world number 1 Mondo Duplantis sa Brussels. Naku, tinalo si Duplantis. First time niyang talunin si Duplantis, mga kapatid. 5.91 si EJ, si Duplantis 5.81. Congratulations, EJ! Panay ang ating pagbubunyi sa ating national gem sa track and field. Doon po sa mga nagpadala ng kanyang mga meron tayong about 2 minutes here. Gusto ko lang pong basahin yung ibang nagpadala sa ating pinupulsuhan. Ano pa ang mga reforma sa sports. Peter Paul Gepuela, naku, kaibigan ko to. Since most sports are headed by old-timers and complaints of mismanagement are rampant, let's change the heads with young, dedicated, motivated, and former athletes. Maganda yan, Mula kay Edgar Bias, I think Philippine sports needs a unity in every sports association. Mula kay Martin Donato, more incentives for Filipino athletes. Si Cherry Cabaltera, reform, budget, time, preparation, transparency. Si Zaldi Zajonia, sabi niya, magkaroon ng retirement benefits, gawing regular ang mga sahod ng mga atleta. Erickson Boringot, ma-utilize ang Sports Village Academy sa Pampanga. Si Orly Babia, sabi niya, we need to go back to the grassroots development. At marami pa po na nagpadala sa ating Facebook page, pati sa Twitter. Marami pong nagpadala. Isang konting basa lamang dito. Sabi ni BBE Passer, Chairman, sana magkaroon ng consistent program sa lahat ng sports na may jurisdiction. I-develop yung potential players. Si Bon Consular, sabi niya, long-term sports program. Marami pa po ito nagpadala. Marami po salamat. Siguro next week magkakaroon ulit tayo ng mga gift certificates mula sa Jukes to Go, ang nag-iisang manok ng bayan. That'll do it for us this morning, mga kapatid. Again, salamat po sa lahat ng nagbigay ng inyong pabati. At ako po ay lubos na maligaya at masaya. At ipinapangako po natin, aayusin natin ang ating programa sa sports. Sa ngalan po sa lahat ng bumubuo ng Power and Play, lagi kami nag-iiwan. Bawal ang masungit tuwing Sabado at sa lahat po ng ating gawain, ad maiorem Dei gloriam, all for the greater glory of God. Kami po ang 1PH Teleserbisyo para sa Pilipino. Susunod na po ang inay ko po. Happy Sports Weekend, mga kapatid! More power, more play!
Sa kapwa ko Pilipino, ipagmalaki ang galing na meron tayo. Ilantad ang likas nating talento at magdala ng saya sa mundo. Sa harap ng pagsubok ay di susuko. Para sa pangarap tayo'y porsigido. Magpakitang gilas na at huwag magpatalo. Ipag-iwang natin ang Pilipino. Yan ang Pinoy. Mula noon at hanggang ngayon, talento natin ang bida. Mula sa simpleng bakuran hanggang entablado natin ipakita. May pagsubok man ng Pinoy, pinalalakas ng saya. San man tayo sa pulot, Sumbe, Sibay, Lakay, Amiga. Sama-samang pakita ang galing natin katropa. Sa kapwa ko